With Destined Rivals right around the corner, we want to kind of take a look back at when this first got announced, because it was going to be a Rocket set. We now know it's the glory of Team Rocket in Japanese. However, for the English counterpart, it is going to be Destined Rivals, which means it's not super specific to Team Rocket, although there are cards that will be Rockets, fill in the blank as you will, with the different Pokemon in the set. We've already seen many revealed. However, it's not that we are going to see Dark Pokemon, which was a characteristic trait from previous Rocket-related sets, or that kind of era and that look of Dark Pokemon. The prices have been climbing on the Dark Pokemon because of the expectation that was headed this way, and the fact that they're older, a little bit more vintage, and as time goes on, while we're seeing a little cooling off of single cards and even some sealed product, the rule of thumb is typical that sealed product will go up over time, and cards will go up based on rarity. That usually means age. Let's take a look and see where things are at today. Sorry, real quick, before we dive in, I am giving away this 3-pack blister of Evolving Skies. I thought maybe this wasn't super exciting, but it's been a lot of positive feedback. People are ready for this. They want this. The 3-pack blister of Evolving Skies going out to one lucky subscriber once we reach 6,000 subscribers. Also, 5 Pokemon mystery card lots going out to 5 additional winners. All you have to do is be a part of the channel. You need to like the video today, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. If you're commenting down below, that's going to be helping you in another giveaway that I do weekly on the I Got It, You Get It shorts. And I give away something every Friday just to do a little feel-good give back to the community. In addition to that, make sure you comment on this video here. This is the one where you want to be entered for that 6,000 subscriber giveaway. And along the way, from 5,000 to 6,000, every 50 subscribers, I'm giving away something. So lots to be a part of and hopefully win along the way on this road to 6,000 subscribers. So be a part of the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's dive in. I'm going to start out not expensive. And actually, everything we're looking at today is going to be under the condition of lightly played. The reason being is I think that's the best condition you're going to find on this secondary market for the age of these cards. Even if people list it for near mint, I wouldn't be jumping in without knowing what you're looking at, without knowing what you're going to see there, because if you don't see it, if you don't have pictures, if you don't hold the card, that's a lot of risk to trust somebody else with near mint when it comes to these more vintage cards. Dark Dragonair is probably the cheapest one right now, and it's been an inexpensive card for a long time, $1 card for the most part, but it's really jumped up just because of the popularity of all things Rocket and Dark and all that, and we're getting close to $3. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, okay, yes, it's just an uncommon card, but it's Dragonair, and it's really cool artwork for being so simple here for these earlier days of the Team Rocket set where this was it. That was the little frame. We didn't have full artworks or anything like that, so pretty neat little artwork for a Dragonair at that point in time. And, of course, it evolves into a fan favorite, Dragonite. But really inexpensive here at about $3. It's $2.62. I don't really need to worry about pennies here because there is going to be shipping. So if you find around a $3 range, you're in the right spot. Now we're going to jump up to a little bit more realistic pricing, and there are some in here that are really expensive, but it's the nature of the beast. Dark Alakazam, they all kind of follow this same kind of trend of going up. I wanted to show you a stretched out year, but that chart, that doesn't do anything over a year. Looking back here, let me see, $38 right now. Is that where it was before? No, about a year ago, they're thinking 23, if we kind of, extrapolate the data between the two graphs there. So not too horrible for a light play. You're probably $40 in once you get to the fact that it's going to be a part of some shipping or anything like that. If you do large enough orders on TCG Player, again, not the place to buy them in my opinion on some of these. Dark Espeon out of Neo Destiny. Oh my gosh, look at that price tag. Well, we are coming off of the fact that Prismatic Evolutions is very popular, Evolving Skies is very popular, and Evolutions in general are popular. All this with the anticipation of Destined Rivals and Glory of Team Rocket out of Japanese. Anything Dark is really skyrocketing, but those other factors of the evolutions, bringing this Dark Espeon from Neo Destiny up to a whopping $150 on recent sales too. Well, semi-recent, but $150 on that. And this is going to be light play, so near mint's probably going to be even higher. However, difficult to find. You also have to remember that this is going to be the unlimited, which means no first edition stamp. All right, so pay attention. If it says first edition stamp, you should expect to see that. If it says unlimited, then you should not expect to see that. Then a lot of these often will have a holo foil version and a non-holo version. We'll get to that in a little bit when we look along the lines here. What do we got here? I must be messed up here. Let's Dark Charmeleon. Okay, Dark Charmeleon out of the Team Rocket set, the first Team Rocket set that we ever had. back in, when was it? It was like 99, 2000. I don't remember when this came out. I think it was like 2000 when this came out. So a long time ago now. And for a light play card, hey, kind of with that Dragonair. Again, it's uncommon, but it's a pretty neat artwork for a Charmeleon. Not the most popular in the evolution. Of course, people are going to love Charmander. They're going to love Charizard. They always have. However, seeing this thing get in sales of the $3 range, maybe it's $4 or so with shipping, you know, kind of neat. That artwork, I would love to go back and complete like a more vintage set that I didn't have. But they're all so crazy. Although some of the modern stuff is pretty crazy, it might be, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, same kind of thing. Moving on to the Charizard, here's where we can talk about holofoil versus non-holofoil. The unlimited version means no stamp. This also specifies nothing in the way of holofoil, which means it's going to be non-holo. So it's a non-holo rare, and for a Charizard, not a horrible pickup. The holo rare puts this thing at like 300 or something. It's pretty insane. And then first edition just goes off the charts. So yeah, about $40 here. Not too bad for an old school Charizard, a dark Charizard. Really interesting concept back then when we got that introduced in the TCG. Dark Scizor out of Neo Destiny. This was a pretty popular set. So you're going to see some pretty inflated prices on this, but it's the nature of the beast. And this is kind of the trend we're seeing on the majority of them. I've pulled out a sample here to look at today. That's usually what I do, is just a little sampling. But you see this flat line for quite a long time. And then we get to that announcement in November, December that we're expecting to see a Team Rocket set come along. So start going back in time and pulling up all these fan favorites. People are looking back to their childhood and seeing what they had back in the day, and they're picking up cards that were important to them or would be important if they were going into the filling in the gaps of those sets or going for a full master set. And just the expectation of possible Dark Pokemon or a new Team Rocket set is pushing these prices into pretty wild stuff here. It says this listing's at 138. That might be our lowest. Pretty insane that people are pushing so hard on this. But if you're selling, you're looking for as much as you can get. If you're buying, you're waiting for a better time. And right now, I would say it is not the time for most of these. If you're going to pick up a few cards that are going to be under $5, it might be worth it for you. Dark Vaporeon, again, seeing an evolution, but this one is uncommon here. You got that little diamond indicator there for the uncommon. And then, again, they show it with the first edition. I can't harp on this enough that the unlimited specifies it's not first edition, which makes a big price difference. It's come down a little bit from its peak of $284, and now we're down to $227. So not a whole lot. But the reality is this one seemed to be trending back down because we all know that this obviously is inflated and based on information that's not totally relevant to why this card should do so well. So again, hold out, give it some time. Back to the Neo sets, Neo Destiny, we have the Dark Houndoom here. This one pretty good on the price there, $70 or so. This one actually has a little bit more of a wild chart, which is kind of interesting to see. And I don't know what that's being fueled by, because we have 0 sold, but it could be based on the conditions. So other ones selling might have been peaking it up or trying to follow that trend. Don't know fully the intricacies of how these charts always work out through TCG Player. When you see the bar behind, that's how many are sold. When you see the point on the graph, that's the price it's at. So we can go some more accurate data of recent sales here. $66.50, and then moving up to 67 right there. But going back about a year, last sell there was 65. So not a lot of movement when you look at it from the past year, which is definitely a little bit more of the unique charts out of this, because the rest of them all have that pretty direct trajectory to the top, like we have on this one for the Dark Gyarados back from Team Rocket. One of my favorite cards. They did this as a pre-release, so it had a big pre-release stamp on there. Definitely an earlier version. It wasn't the first time they did pre-release, but it was in the early stages of that. Of course, the game was still pretty new, having this only been the 4th set, I believe, that ever came out from the TCG, and now we're doing 6 a year, so you do the math, 4 sets in was pretty new when you think about it. And for the light condition, we are at about $50 here, it looks like. And looks like the pricing here may or may not reflect that. 45, 45, a little bit more, 47 here. Okay, we're about right there. That it's the $50 range. A few listings a little lower. Again, I would want to see these cards. I'd want to see what people think light play equals in their mind, because they can state anything they want when they're selling it, and you don't really know till you get it unless there's photos associated. But as you can see, most of these listings do not have that going on here. Dark Hypno, I always loved this look of the pendulum swing and the eye in the background, a couple of them there. I always really liked this one as a holo, especially. The non-holo, not so much, but the holo. Look at that spike up there. Everything going off of this Team Rocket bubble that we're going to see here. And yes, there's still a boom, but it is nice to know some things are cooling off, where some of these things, and it changes as some of the more modern market is cooling off, some of the more vintage stuff is popping off, and it follows the trend there. This Dark Raichu, interesting here, is a reprint in the Legendary Collection. Not an inexpensive one at that. 34, 35 bucks, $33 here. And a year ago, is that a year? Yeah, a year ago, about the same, 35 there. And we're looking at 33, not even 33 and a half now. However, this is a reprint from what was the original secret rare card ever. The first ever secret rare that could be pulled out of a set came in the Team Rocket set as a Dark Raichu, and you would see it's number 83 out of 82, the first ever to have that, and that's why the price is up a little bit on this one here. We're at $71 from what would have been about 35 bucks not even a year ago. My goodness, so it's more than doubled in, less than a year. Pretty crazy. Following that trend, that same line shooting up here from that December, January, and onward and upward here into May. I can't believe we're in May. What the heck happened? Awesome, interesting, taking a look and just kind of seeing how people are collecting, because really, when you get into it, there's so much going on. People are focused on modern, what's coming out, all of that, people looking back, doing sets. It's still hard to refine how to collect because I have trouble with it. I'm at the point of I'm getting what I like. I'm getting few sealed products of what I think will be doing well long term. Things like Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, if you can get them, and specific cards that appeal to me personally, but I'm not really going heavy into the collecting because the hobby is so expensive right now. I'm just being extremely selective about what I'm going to get. But that doesn't mean you can't get something awesome. When I'm doing my 6,000 subscriber giveaway, I'm giving away this Evolving Skies 3-pack blister. Maybe there's something to pull in there. I don't know. I have no idea. It's new, sealed, ready to go. Whoever wins it can open it. Don't ever tell me what you get. I don't want to know that you pulled an Umbreon out of there and I had it sitting in my hands for a minute, so that's not cool. Just hope you do get something good. And if you don't open it, then it's fine, because that's really what I was going to do anyways, is keep it sealed. So pulled that out of my collection. Want to give to one of you once we reach 6,000 subscribers. Also, I'm giving away 5 Pokemon mystery card lots. All you got to do is be a part of the channel. There's other giveaways, other things. Go back to a little bit earlier in the video when I describe all of it. So be a part of the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. I do post 7 days a week, and with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.